Welcome to Rugby Tonight, the best bits. The spotlight was on Ireland for our second Six Nations special, featuring a visit to the studio by Ulster winger Tommy Bowe. He joined Ben Kay and Austin Healey for analysis of all the action from the opening weekend of the Six Nations and round 11 of the Aviva Premiership. Tommy, good to have you here. Thanks for coming along.
Thank you. Delighted to be here on Irish night. Plenty of fellow Irish here too. It's great.
I know you'd obviously rather be in Ireland camp at the moment. Awful injury during the World Cup. Describe what happened to you and what are you at the moment? How's it going?
I had a tackle during the last game of the World Cup against Argentina. I ripped the PCL ligament off the bone in my knee. Pretty not too nice at the time, but had surgery on it. Had a leg brace on for 10 weeks. But I'm 6 weeks out of it now, almost back onto the pitch again, and hopefully be back in the next couple of months. I mean, the Argentina one will stick in my mind for a long time. You know, whenever you're a rugby player, you can generally put a bad performance behind you very quickly because you play the very next week. Unfortunately, the last game I played was that Argentina game. Now, the weeks before that, we had a tremendous win against France in probably one of the best atmospheres I've ever played in front of in the Millennium Stadium. But again, that Argentina one just it still lingers there. But I hope to be back to play some part of Ulster's season and potentially Ireland's summer tour, all going well. That's my aim anyway. Let's reflect on the World Cup up to the point of the Argentina loss, because the win against France was a massive moment, wasn't it? Incredible, yeah. I mean, I suppose it was almost a problem in a sense in that the whole build-up was all about that French match. I don't think that we got complacent, but I think that to suffer some of the losses, some of the injuries that we did, with notable obviously to Paul O'Connell, Peter O'Mahony, to lose Sean O'Brien through suspension, that really hurt us as a team. But that day, the result for us in front of it seemed like there was 80,000 Irish people all packed into the Millennium Stadium, with the roof closed. It is a tremendous stadium, and when it's full of green, it is definitely a standout moment. Let's talk about the draw with Wales. What was your overview of the whole thing?
I was a little bit pessimistic going into the game, and so if you'd given me a draw beforehand, I probably would have taken it, just with the injury list that Ireland had. And then the way they started the first 20 minutes, I just thought 13 points is going to be too much for Wales, but they showed the quality team that they are. They're able to play themselves back into it with that last 10 minutes in the first half. And in the end, I think a draw was probably fair, but Ireland will be the happier of the two to come out of it with a draw.
How does it change your view on what Ireland might be able to do in this Six Nations?
It does change it a bit. I think we'll go over to France. I personally would see the team going over to France with a bit more confidence. I think we still need a couple of key individuals. I think Johnny Sexton going off at the end, you still need him fit for playing over in Stade de France. But at the same time, I'd be a little bit more optimistic that we can get a result there. And we haven't seen a lot of England, obviously, this new side that England are putting out. So I think with another game under our belt, I wouldn't anticipate going to Twickenham is an absolute no-win situation. So I'm a little bit more hopeful than I was at the start of the Six Nations.
I think it's fair to say people back in Ireland were very nervous about the Ireland-Wales encounter. They didn't really see Ireland getting much out of it. So a draw is not the worst-case scenario at all, really, is it? Not the worst-case scenario. I think there was a huge amount of negativity going into the game, certainly from the press, the media. We are missing quite a few players through injury. We've obviously lost the likes of Brian O'Driscoll in the last 2 years. We've Paul O'Connell. So two huge leaders for the Irish side. But we have the chance to go into a Six Nations championship to win it, be the first team ever to win it 3 times. And I think, there should be positivity going out there. We've got, in my mind, the best coach in the world, Joe Schmidt, leading the team. And I think, anything's possible with this Irish team, with him as coach, with I suppose, Conor Murray and Johnny Sexton pulling the strings. I think that, of course, there is that negativity, and I think that coming away with a draw, nobody enjoys a draw. But I think the way we started the first couple of minutes to get a 13-point lead, in a way, I kind of think Ireland would maybe be a little bit disappointed with that. Let's talk about Ulster Rugby. Brian, stay with us for this, because it's been a great season. Now, we should show lots of respect to Connacht too. We are talking about the Champions Cup rather than the Challenge Cup. I mean, they're the informed team from the provinces in the Champions Cup this season, no doubt about it.
I think we've played some great rugby. But we've been disappointing as well. I think that we had opportunities against Saracens. I suppose we lost them at home, which is something that we would never expect. At the Kingspan Stadium in Belfast, any team that comes there, we expect to get a home a home win. And I think, especially in the European Cup, you need to win your home games. So I think going away to Toulouse, a fantastic result over there, back-to-back results against them. But the first half against Oyonnax really was, I suppose, our downfall.
The great thing about the season for Ulster is the way guys have come through. Guys we've watched for a few years now, the likes of Luke Marshall, and he's had a few concussion issues. Great to see him in form. Stu McCluskey, a real bolter as well. But also Paddy Jackson, because we watched him, you know, really struggle at times, and he got a cap early doors when he was very young. He looks like he's really growing into the position now, doesn't he?
He really is. I think as each year goes on, he's just getting more and more confident. And I think, yeah, of course, he's had a few knocks. He definitely has. He's been put in and thrown out almost, and then fights his way back in again, and just gets shut out again. But I think more and more, he's a very resilient guy. He's a great character, and he's really turned into a real leader in Ulster as well. So he's playing some super rugby. He's a great player to play outside of if you're a back. You know, the way he's just slinging these passes out in front of the likes of Payne at 15, the wingers. You know, it's really getting them into the game.
I don't know if it's a recommendation or whether it's a rule change that's going to happen with the driving line out more, which is a really interesting one. But what's your view on it? I'll explain it first of all. Sorry.
Well, it's the fact that the ball, the guy who takes it in, the first ball carrier, so particularly from a line out, can't be in a row of three, can't be protected too much. So he's actually got to make contact with the tackler, and then they form that. I think it's just because it's become so difficult to stop legally. We've seen in the Premiership, Exeter scoring try after try, and once it's set up, unless you kill it at source, you haven't really got a chance of stopping it. And I think they're trying to say, look, let's give the defensive teams a little bit of a chance to stop it early, and then we might reduce the number of every single time going to the corner and trying to score a mauling try. We want to see the odd bit of that to pull in defenders and create space for more attractive tries out wide. There's a lot of people very active on Twitter saying England still don't have a scavenger at number 7, and Matt Kovacic is the name that most people are mentioning. Now, he had a 10-minute cameo at the weekend, made 2 turnovers, including the match winner. So I just thought we'd talk through some of the decision-making that sets him apart from some of the others in the Premiership. Here we see Francois Lowe carrying the ball up. He gets a bit separated from his support, so he initially goes down into a good body shape, but then he realises he has to squeeze the ball under his stomach, and that allows Kovacic to get in. And if you can see the reaction of the Gloucester players, but look at Kovacic, because he can get his arms right underneath and look like he is going for the ball, he's actually supporting his body weight on his forearms. Now, had Francois Lowe felt a bit more confident and gone his side, he wouldn't have been able to do that. So let's just talk about what I mean and the decision-making of Kovacic, which won that turnover. First of all, ball carrier goes in. We're going to show the normal way. So this ball carrier now thinks that the support player's right with him, so he stayed on his side. That makes it much more difficult, because this man can't go past the ball like we used to see players, because referees are too hot on that. And what he'd be wanting to happen is, as the hit came in, he'd slide back onto the ball and take it with him. But the referees are spotting they're not supporting their own body weight if they're doing that. Let's do it again, though, and see what happened when you go into a squeeze ball. You're trying to get it under your stomach and squeeze it back through your legs, just to give your support a millisecond to get there with you. So he goes in, he realises there's no one there, so he keeps it under his body. He tries to show the referee he's not playing it by pulling the arms out, Francois Lowe. Okay, he gets there, but look, these forearms are now under the floor. It looks, he's painting a picture to the referee. We always hear them say, paint a picture that you're doing the right thing. That all he's doing is competing for the ball. He's actually resting his whole body weight on there. There is no way you can shift it off. He's got no intention of stealing the ball. He's just trying to trap it in and win a penalty. So that, maybe, is the reason that Matt Kovacic, people are saying, still should be in Eddie Jones's thoughts. And I see that today, he's been called back into the England squad for the 25 that will go to Italy, and maybe Eddie Jones is taking note.
That's all for this week. Thanks for watching Rugby Tonight, the best bits, and don't forget to hit subscribe. There's also still time to apply for free tickets for all of our upcoming shows by emailing audience@rugbytonight.com. See you soon.